Hi, welcome to class. I'm Chef Roger and I'm going to demonstrate how to make some Pomme Sautées à cru, which are your sautéed potato. This is part of my series on potato. I don't know if you saw the previous lesson. If you didn't, make sure to check them out so you don't get behind here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, for that recipe, I need some potato. I have two here. This is Idaho potato, your russet potato, a starchy potato. Again, I want to develop some nice and crispiness on those potatoes, so I want to use a nice and starchy potato instead of a waxy potato. I'm going to make that very simple. I'm going to cut very thin slice, very thin, like 2 mm thick slices, and then I'm going to rinse those, dry them, and then be ready to be sauteed. If you do not rinse your potato, they might stick to each other as you cook them. So make sure you rinse them a little bit to remove a little bit of the starch from it. If you want not to use the potato right away, make sure you keep them in some water so they do not oxidize on you. After you rinse them, make sure that you dry them very well. If they're still wet and you put them in that hot oil, you will burn yourself. So dry them so no accident happen. My potatoes are ready. I'm going to put it under that saute pan. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit and then I will add my oil to it. In it, it's going to be oil, a little bit of butter, and I will finish it with some parsley. This is the traditional recipe of Pomme Sautées à cru. Now, I like to add a little bit of garlic to it. Garlic is something I really enjoy with my potato. So, towards the end, when those potatoes are almost done, I will add a crushed garlic clove into it and finish cooking it with it. You do not want to add the garlic too early or it might just be burned by the time the potatoes are done. So this is why we add it towards the end. I put my oil. I want a fair amount of oil so they don't dry as they cook and they develop a nice color. Now I'm going to wait for the oil to come to a, you should know that by now, smoking point. Smoking point. A little smoke that comes out of it, that's the sign that when I put my potato in, they won't stick to the pan. If they do stick, there's a big chance that that oil wasn't hot enough. I see the smoke. I'm going to add my potato into it. This way. You do not want to overcrowd the pan, if not you will cool down the oil and then your potato won't cook well. As I put them in, I'm going to saute them lightly like that so they all wrapped with the fat. This is important. You don't just want to let them set in your oil. And you need to give it a little bit of movement so they don't stick and also they color evenly. Saute them a little bit. If you're not comfortable sauteing them, use your spatula and just move them around. And what we're looking for them here is for them to develop a beautiful golden brown color. Now, if we add some thicker piece of potato, you may want to pre-cook them before in water so they cook better after. If I was trying to saute a potato, a very thick one, by the time there's a nice golden color on the outside, the inside might not be cooked. So the thickness is pretty important here. This is why we call them sauté à cru. Means we cook them starting from the raw product. There's another kind of recipe that we call pomme rissolée. In those one here, the potatoes are first blanched in water to pre-cook them and finish the same way I'm doing it here. Pomme rissolée. I'm going to wait a little bit, maybe 2-3 minutes, till I start developing a little bit color, and then I will add a nice little piece of butter to it to finish it up. If you put your butter too early, it's not a good thing because it might burn by the time your potatoes are cooked. You know, butter doesn't have a high smoking point, so this is why we're going to wait a little bit before we add it to it, so it doesn't burn on us. Okay, you can see some of them here have a nice color already. The other one's going to follow. Now I'm going to add the butter. I have ready here with me some paper towel in which I will then drain my potato into it. And right away I will season them with a little bit of salt. Now we put a little salt because that extract the leftover moisture, some of the leftover moisture in the potato, and give us a more crisp product at the end. So the potatoes are almost ready. I'm actually going to lower the heat here so they don't burn too much. And I'm going to add my garlic, crushed garlic to it. You could have chopped that garlic if you want, do a little garlic paste and add it too, but just again, make sure you add it at the last moment. Me, I like to put a big chunk of it. It's easier to remove, and there is less chance that it burns. Because burnt garlic develop a bitter flavor to your food. Now, my parsley to finish it. I'm going to use my spotted spoon here. Remove those right away again on that paper towel. As you see, I'm not putting them from the pan in air directly. I'm using the spoon, so I leave most of the fat behind. So when you have that kind of potato here, which is nice after with those, is they can be presented different way, but you can very make nice little decor with them. You can overlap them. Let me show you a little bit like that what you could do. You could put them like that on top of your plate, and then put the protein in front of it. It depends how fancy you want it. You could also serve them family style in just a large dish. This works very well too. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.